أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. All praises due to Allah. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon His Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. How's everybody doing today? Alhamdulillah. Good. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal at the beginning of this session to bless our gathering, to purify our intentions, to define our goal, to forgive our sins and fix our deeds. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to surround us with His angels and to cover us with His mercy, to make His tranquility descend upon our hearts, to mention us the presence of His angels, to make us among the students of knowledge who seek the knowledge of the deen for His sake subhanahu wa ta'ala. We continue with the etiquettes of seeking knowledge, the etiquettes of the seeker of knowledge, and today we are with the etiquette or the adab number 34. Adab. Remember that word. Adab. And the plural is adab. Adab, alif, dal, ba. And the plural is adab. So you put alif after the dal. Okay? Adab is the behavior that it is prescribed or it is known or agreed upon. That's the adab. So adab al-ta'am, the etiquette of food. Adab al-sharab, etiquette of drinking. Adab al-zawaj, the etiquette of marriage. Adab al-jima', the etiquette of the intercourse between husband and wife. Adab al-mashi ila al-masjid, walking to the masjid. Adab al-nawm, sleeping, etc. So there is always adab, huh? Our deen is deen of adab. Adab. So everything there is adab. And this is what guards the relationship. Adab. That's why in Arabic, when somebody misbehaves, they tell him, you are qalilul adab. Qalil. Qalil means what? Little. So that's a big insult. When somebody like said, Anta qalil al-adab, yani you did not reach the level that you're supposed to reach. You don't have what it's supposed to, you don't have what tells you what to do. Manners, huh? You say qalil al-adab. Yani your adab is little, and that's what caused you to do what you're doing. So if somebody speaks in a harsh way to the elder, said, هذا قليل الأدب. You understand? قليل الأدب. If a student talk to the teacher in an impolite way, said, that's a student قليل الأدب. If somebody raised their voice while they're supposed to be quiet, this is قليل الأدب. Now understand what قليل الأدب? It's a big label. And that tells you how adab is very important in our life as humans, as Muslims. It's very important to have adab. Even there is adab dealing with your opponent or dealing with the person who disagrees with you. There is adab. We call it the adab of disagreement. Adab al-khilaf. The adab of khilaf. You know, when you deal with someone. And that's why Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that the munafiq, because they don't have that adab, they don't have that adab when they're dealing with their opponents or when they disagree. He said, إِذَا خَاصَمَ فَجَرْ. إِذَا خَاصَمَ فَجَرْ. يعني the munafiq, whenever they have disagreement with someone, they trespass all limits and they go extreme in their opponent. It's not about the disagreement anymore, it's about hurting the other person. And that's not adab. Right? So I disagree with you, so we can settle it somehow. I'm right, you're wrong, we're halfway, it doesn't matter. But when one take it beyond because they are losing or something and they attack the reputation or the integrity or something of someone, then it becomes fujur, you know. It's now not about the haqq. It's not about what you have and what I owe. It's not about that. It's about, inflicting as much harm on the person as possible. And that's a hypocrisy. This is one of the description of the hypocrisy. Now you understand how big adab in our deen? That's what I'm trying to emphasize on you. All of this is connecting dots together. So when you are a student of knowledge, this adab is like your lifeline. Once you lack some of it or this, then that means you are off the path. You are off the path. So when you're a student of knowledge, you stick to this adab. That's why we are going one by one and spending our time, right? I could finish this book in 3-4 sessions, but it's important to do this. All right, so adab number 34, which is, by the way, easy to say, but is very hard to practice. Junnatu talib al-ilmi. Junnah, shield. If you put above it the word Jannah, you make it fatha, you know what Jannah is. طيب. If you put under it kasra, Jinnah means jinn. Min al-jinnati wal-nas. So kasra is jinn, fatha is Jannah, garden, and dhamma is Junnah, means shield. So what gathers all of those? In Arabic, there is a science of linguistics called ilm al-ishtiqaq. Ilm al-ishtiqaq. Ishtiqaq means derivatives. You know the word that you have derivatives that come out of it. Like fa'ala, yaf'alu, maf'ulun, fi'lan, you know, this is derivatives. So this is ishtiqaq. Now, I don't want to go deep with you, but I'll just give you a glimpse of it. When you have, so there is something called ishtiqaq aam. Aam means general. Means you have a combination of certain letters, but you put them in different arrangements. Right? Like jim, noon, and ha. Ha comes first or comes second, noon comes first or comes second, jim comes first or comes second. Always you will find one meaning that gathers all of the derivatives of the word. All right? That's one way. The other way is the same spelling, same arrangement, but fatha, kasra, dhamma differ. Right? That's more specific. And always it's easy to find the meaning that connects all of them. So what is the meaning that connects jinn? Jinn, you know jinn, right? We're talking about the other world. And the Jannah and the shield. What is the adjective or the characteristic that gather all of them? Think. Jinn is something that you see or you don't see? Okay. Tab Jannah is fenced off, right? Fenced off with trees and all that. You have to enter to see what is inside, right? And our Jannah also we don't see, so Jannah is hidden. Tab Junnah, shield. It hides your chest, so you don't get anything. You understand the Arabic, how it works? There's a very advanced Arabic, by the way. So when you study, that's actually one of the fast tracks of studying Arabic, is to see the word in its different formats. Then you learn more vocabulary automatically. So the word here, now you learn 3 words, right? Like 3 words. Now you can make the verb out of it. That Allah Azza wa Jalla said to Sayyidina Ibrahim, about Sayyidina Ibrahim, when he was talking to his father, why you are worshipping. You know the story of the star, the moon, and the sun, right? This is my God, right? So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, فَلَمَّا جَنَّ عَلَيْهِ اللَّيْلُ. When the night, with its darkness, it encompassed him. So Jannah al-Layl means at night you don't see as much as you see during the day. Jannah al-Layl means the night covered with its darkness our ability to see. Now you see the same derivative, right? So now you know the jim and the noon, when they come together, means something hidden. So whenever you see a word with jim and noon, you don't know the meaning of, you know that it's going to talk about something hidden. You understand Arabic now, how it works? That's one of the reasons why Allah chose the Quran for the last message. No other language would do that, right? So no other language would do that. Arabic only will do that. The word itself gives you denotation, connotation beyond just the literal meaning. So the word will move around in different formats, and it gives you the same thing. So when we say jinn, what does it mean? The creation which is hidden. That's the literal meaning of the word. Jinn. Jinn means the creation which is hidden. Well, Jannah means lots of beautiful flowers and food and everything, but it's fenced off. Jannah. يعني وَدَخَلَ جَنَّتَهُ Surah Al-Kahf. He entered his garden. So he had to enter to experience what is inside. But those who are walking outside, you find the fence, and inside there is a big house. You can see the top of the house, but you don't know what is surrounding it. That's Jannah. And the Junnah means your shield that guarding you. Now your chest is covered, so no arrows, nothing can come through. Yeah. I'm sorry I diverted, but it was good. Yeah, that's why I'm telling you, when you do tafsir and stuff, you have to know these sciences. You have to have you have to be aware of it. So if somebody, it's unfair, so unfair, when somebody holds the English translation of the Quran and said, I'm doing tafsir. See, it becomes unfair, don't you think? And that person does not know even the basics of Arabic. It's unfair, isn't it? It's so unfair, you don't even experience the meaning of the word. And you just see the translation, Jannah means garden. What did you get out of the word garden? What did you get out of what I just said to you today? The word garden and its relationship to the word shield and its relationship to the word jinn. You see, jinn is a creation, shield and garden. How you gather those three words in English and get some meaning, common meaning? You can't. So if somebody holding the translation of Quran in any language and teaching people and say this is tafsir, it's unfair, it's really unfair. Now, so what is your junnah as a student of knowledge? What is the shield that you're going to carry with you all the time? La adri. I don't know. The word I don't know. When you don't know, you don't know. I'm speaking now from a common sense point of view. It's either you know or you don't know, or you have doubt. Yes? It's either you know or you don't know or you have doubt. The ulama would not answer except what they are 100% sure of. If I'm not sure, I said, you know what? I'm not sure. Let me consult and I'll come back to you. All right? But if I don't know, I say, I don't know. La adri. It's not about my image. It's not about that. It's not about my image now. It's about delivering wrong knowledge. عندنا في مصر in Egypt ما فيش حد يعرف ما فيش حد يقول كده. Nobody would say I don't know. Everybody knows. Abu al-Urrif, we call him in Egypt. The one who knows everything. Abu al-Urrif, whenever we talk, they have this, they have this drive that they want to be part of the conversation. Yeah. So you are walking in the street and you're talking with somebody and somebody overhears you and says, yeah. What's wrong with you? Why you interfere? They have the drive that they want to insert their knowledge. Tarbiyah, it is 100 years of colonization and all of that. It raised this kind of generation, that من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه. لا يعني من إسلام المرء يتدخل في الذي لا يعنيه. يعني الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم said, the out of one's good religion is to abandon what is not your business. No, now we are, it's like being a good Muslim, I have to interfere in your business. يعني everybody wants to know everything about everybody. Everybody wants to know the personal life of everybody. Everybody wants to give their opinion to everybody. Why? Why you really have that? Why you are really that eager to be accountable in the day of judgment for advice you give? Really, why? And you are not asked for your opinion. Why you volunteer with it? Why you want to be? What if that person follows your opinion, and then they end up wrong? Then you are accountable for that. Why you are eager to be accountable in front of Allah for wrong advice that you give to somebody? You go there and ask somebody for direction. He said, "Sida." امشي على طول. طب ما أنا ماشي على طول. I am driving this way. I'm asking you because I'm driving. I don't know whether I should drive more, should go back, should take a right turn. I'm asking you because of that. So, mashallah, why you have to tell me something just because you want to say something? You get my point, right? They cannot take saying, Wallah, I don't know. Becomes embarrassing, right? Wallah, I respect people who say, I don't know. I respect them. There's someone who is standing in the street. I say, I'm trying to go such and such place. He said, Wallah, I don't know this area. Taxi driver, I said, I don't know this area. Oh, aren't you a taxi driver? How dare you drive a taxi and you don't know the direction? Huh? So because of these kind of expected behavior, we start adapting wrong behavior. I'm afraid that the person will embarrass me because I'm a sheikh, I cannot answer. Then people will disrespect me. Every time we ask the sheikh, he said, I don't know what kind of sheikh he is. Me, knowing that this is what you want to do, forces me to do wrong. You get it? So I will give you an answer anyway, even if it's a generic answer, if it is a general answer, just to satisfy that so I don't get that embarrassment. What does this lead in the long run? Corrupted jama'ah. A person answering and the people asking and he answering, and his value increases, and at the end of the day they have lots of wrong practices, because we did not establish that. You don't know means you don't know. Go ahead and know and then come back. And I told you the story of Imam Malik. Someone comes from like all the way in Morocco and Spain and all that. He comes to him in Medina and he gives him like 60 questions. He answered 20 and he tells him the rest I don't know. So he said, but I came all this way for you. What should I go tell the people? Tell them that Imam Malik said I don't know. What you gonna tell people? You see the perception here? Means I have to go tell something positive to my people. That's why I make all this trip to find answers. Well, you did not find answers. So go tell your people, I made that trip, I did not find answers. What's wrong with that? No, there is something wrong. People expecting that you're going to get the answer. Imam Malik, because he's Imam Malik, has the answer. Now you're facing a situation you did not account for, so you want to lie or something like that. No. And when he went back and they told him, he answered those, and all the general public said, Malik what? Everybody said Malik, Malik, Malik. And now Malik cannot answer 2/3 of the questions. But their scholars said Malik is Malik. That is the one we should follow. Had he played with those and say any answer, we would have disrespected him. You see the evaluation here? Because there are certain questions that doesn't have answer. They don't have answer. Alhamdulillah that they don't have answer, like it's an opening from Allah, so for the alim to make ijtihad or something like that, and another one make a different ijtihad, that's okay. Yeah. So جنة العالم لا أدري ويهتك حجابه الاستنكاف منها. He said the alim has a dignity. That dignity is like a hijab. Your hijab, you're wearing hijab. That hijab is covering your dignity, right? Once this hijab is uncovered, then that dignity is gone with it. You understand? So the hijab of the alim is that word لا أدري. If he start abandoning it, his integrity and his dignity is exposed, like a woman would take off her hijab. Right? وقوله نصف العلم لا أدري فنصف الجهل يقال وأظن. If half of the knowledge that the scholar said, half of the knowledge is to say I don't know. Why? Anyone can guess why? Half of knowledge means acquiring something, but half of that is I don't know. Because when you are,
So avoid getting the wrong is better to say that.
Yeah. So now you saved people from wrong knowledge, right? But what else? Why it is counted as half of the knowledge? Because you're going to go search it. You're going to go know. When I say I don't know, then I'm going to go read more, trying to know. So it helped me or not. But if I give an answer, khalas, that question is over with. Correct? And when I answer a question and I know it for sure, I don't go review it. But when I say I don't know, I have to go review it. Because if I'm asked that question again and it has an answer, then it is bad on me. Like I'm here to answer people's questions, right? So when you ask me a question, not necessarily I know it, but now I figured out that I don't know it. What should I do next? Go search it. Maybe it has an answer that I don't know, which is okay. So is half of the knowledge or not? So there's actually an etiquette that would lead you to acquire more knowledge. When you say I don't know. That's why when we start a halaqah of tajweed, you find many people don't want to come. Why? Because they don't want to look bad. Yeah? Especially in older, they don't want to look bad, that I cannot pronounce the alif, I cannot do the ahkam, and the sheikh is going to figure it out. Yeah? There's a problem, because you don't have that courage to say I don't know. Had you have the courage to say I don't know, it doesn't matter now you make mistake or not. It doesn't matter you're 50 or 60 year old and start learning alif ba. It does not matter. It doesn't. But why it matters? Your image comes first. Your image comes first. If you appear ignorant, it will hurt your ego. And you don't want to hurt your ego. But if you come over that and you want to learn because it makes you a better Muslim, now you are over these issues. Ego or no ego, I don't care. I can sit in a class that has a 10-year-old and I am 60-year-old. So what? You get the Benefit, so as I told you, it might seem like a word, لا أدري, I don't know, but actually behind it is a huge package. It is how you think, how you perceive yourself, your confidence, your self-esteem, your ego, all of these will be on the line that you don't know. Do you want to appear that you don't know in front of people or not? That's a question, right? Do I want to look in front of people that's why sometimes people don't want to ask simple question because they don't want to be exposed, right? They don't want to be exposed. Like a certain question, they think in their mind that's a simple question. Well, you do not know the answer for a simple question, so ask. You don't know the answer of a simple question, so ask. Why the question? Why you assume that the question has to be hard in order for me to ask? Question, you ask questions to know. Regardless, it is a silly question, bad question, simple question, a 10-year-old question, or a 100-year-old question. It does not matter. What matters is you know it or you don't know it. You don't know it, you ask. Very simple. Get over the issue of, oh, I will be embarrassed now if I ask this question about wudu. That means everybody will think I don't know how to do wudu. So what is better for you now? To continue doing wrong wudu? Or continue having doubt wudu? Or you get over this embarrassment and for the rest of your life you do good wudu? Which one is more important? You have to decide. يعني سيدنا أبو بكر الصديق رضي الله عنه become the Khalifa of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and an inheritance case come and he did not know the mas'ala. That the grandmother, with the absence of the mother, can she inherit her granddaughter or not? Right? And he found out that most of the Sahaba, they know the answer. And he doesn't. So when he judged, some Sahaba said, no. He said, why? He said, Rasulullah said, okay. Right? He did not say, I'm the Khalifa, and how come you embarrass me like this? No. Sayyidina Umar, many masail, he did not know. And all of the Sahaba like that. So the issue is not how embarrassed I look, or my image, or my ego. This is, so as a student of knowledge, you don't know, say I don't know. And then ask or go search it. That's much better for you and saving for your deen. And actually it increases your integrity with Allah Azza wa Jal. Forget about what people do. Jahil, lay people will make judgment no matter what. No matter what. You can serve them as a student of knowledge or as a alim for 50 years. And you make one mistake, they will step on you with their shoes. Am I right or wrong? That's what it is. So if you are doing it for people, this is what's expected. They will praise you as long as you are famous, as long as you are doing what they want to hear. Once you pound on their mistakes, they will trash you, no matter what you do. Okay? So do it for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jal and save your deen. Don't work for the people. Now, number 35. Number 34, he said, if this is half of the ilm, then half of the jahl is to say, I think, and it is said. Don't do that. When you answer, don't say, I heard people saying about this mas'ala. You are a student of knowledge. This is not the behavior. This is not your adab here. It is said, I think so. Don't. Especially in the affairs of the deen, right? Don't do that. This is the talk of the juhal. I heard it is said that you can pray like that. That should not come from you. What comes from you, said, I don't know, let me consult, I'll come to you tomorrow. Or give me a week, give me 3 days. Just like that. Or I don't know, go ask someone else. Very simple. Get the load off of your shoulder. Number 35, المحافظة على رأس مالك ساعات عمرك. Your life is your capital. Your life is your capital. Means the hours of your life, capital. See, we are spending an hour here every Wednesday. That's 1 unit of your life, right? So you know that every Wednesday you spend about 45 minutes to an hour studying, okay? And another hour studying something else, and another hour helping your husband or your children, another hour. This is your capital, and that's how you are using your capital. The profit that comes out of this is in dunya and akhirah. So make sure how you are using your capital. You know, someone was saying that the day has 24 hours. 1/3 of them goes in sleeping. That's 8 hours gone. And people work another like 8 hours. That's 16 hours gone. So what is left? 8 hours. You take like 2 hours of eating and cooking and doing whatever. So that's 6 hours left. And then you know you're engaged in the affairs of the dunya or this. You'll find at the end 2 to 4 hours left for you. And what are you doing with them? So imagine that a person who is 50 years old, 40 years old, 20 years they were sleeping. 20 years they're sleeping. So 2 hours a day, that means like if you are 40 years old, you just worshipped Allah 2 years. That's sad. You know, because if we compare all of this to the time that we do salah, if every salah takes 10 minutes, that's 50 minutes. It's not even 1 hour. You know, that we do salah. So how many hours you take in Quran and dhikr, in da'wah and studying? That's what counts. So your capital as a student of knowledge is what? Time. Your capital is what? Time. One of my sheikhs said about 10 years ago, he said as a student of knowledge, you should read 2 to 3 hours a day, every day, for the rest of your life. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Like to be someone that people can benefit from. You'll benefit yourself, yeah, but you know, you have enough knowledge to do the right things. But is that what you want? That's the easy route. But if you want more, you got to do more. Okay, so your capital is time. Make sure how you are using it. Let's see what the Sheikh says. الوقت للتحصيل. Time and time to acquire the knowledge. فكن حلف عمل لا حلف بطالة وبطر. Be the friend of work, not the friend of laziness. And the friend of complain. You know, complain. You know, always complaining. I don't have time. I'm tired. I don't know what to do. This thing, you know, like, don't be friend of that, because then it will happen. You know, they say normally you attract what you're afraid of, unless you focus on a higher goal. If you're afraid of darkness, because you're afraid to see a ghost, you will end up seeing a ghost. Yeah. If you are afraid that you're going to establish a business and your partner is going to take over and kick you out, your partner is going to take over and kick you out. Right? Because you already succumbed into the idea. Right? But if you take it as a possibility and work on preventing it, then you succeed. This is psychology 101, yeah, right? So it's kind of like, okay, what am I afraid of here as an imam? I'm afraid that the people will do this and I'll lose my job. You know, people will do this and I'll lose my job eventually. I'm just telling you, that's 90% of the time that's what happens. Because I already have, that's already what's going to happen. Why? Because I'm already entering the relationship with that as fear. So all the time, that fear is encompassing my life. Okay? So everything I'm doing with that fear as the monster, like, and eventually the monster is going to grab and devour me. But if I enter the relationship, this may succeed, this may fail. People may say that, you don't say that. So what I need to do the right thing. What Allah wants me to do, I do it. Bismillah, I do my best to keep the positive, right? But this is a possibility. I'm trying to minimize that possibility and maximize that possibility. So mostly I succeed. But if I fail, I was ready for it. But I'm not scared that I'll fail. No matter what I do, I give up. Once you give up, you attracted what you actually were afraid of. Right? So you just be careful with that. As a student of knowledge, preserve your time. Don't say that I can't do it. And don't say I'll try. You know the word I'll try, if you find yourself saying it too much, means you'll fail. I said, come to the customer, I'll try it out. Already you came with the mentality that 50-50 failure. When you said, I'll try it out, no, don't try it out. You're coming for the sake of Allah, you are not losing anything. If you did not learn anything, you did not learn anything bad. Right? So don't come and say, I'll try. So you are in a trial. Your life is just like trying stuff. So already in your mind it might not work. And most of the time, those who want to say, I'm going to try, already they are defeated inside. They think it's not going to work. We'll give it another try. You see? We'll give it another try. You already have in the back of your head that this will not work. Okay? So this is important. It took me more than 20 years to discover what I'm just telling you right now. So it's up to you. You want to try for 20 years? It's okay. You want to take my word and then act upon it? It's all right. Yeah. So so he said, فالحفظ على الوقت بالجد والاجتهاد وملازمة الطلب ومثافنة الأشياخ والاشتغال بالعلم قراءة وإقراء ومطالعة وتدبرا وحفظا وبحثا لا سيما في أوقات الشرخ الشباب ومقتبل العمر ومعدن العافية. So he says that you have to preserve and take care of your time. How? بالجد والاجتهاد. الجد means taking it serious. Ijtihad means excelling. Excel. Somebody excelling means effort. Putting like effort. Excelling in effort. Striving. وملازمة الطلب. Always you have to seek some knowledge. Remember when I told you, don't sleep unless you learn something that you don't know. Remember when I told you that? Yes. So are you doing it or you forgot? It's okay if you forgot. But we have to repeat it to yourself. Write it in a card. Put it in your fridge. Okay? The last thing that you touch before you sleep, have that reminder on it. I need to learn something that I did not know before. If the fridge is the last thing because you drink water, if it is where you brush your teeth, just write it down. I need to learn something I did not learn before. So if that day already you learned something you didn't learn before, alhamdulillah, right? But if you cannot find in this day that you acquired any knowledge, now go search any book around you, and open a random page, 2 minutes only. Find something that you did not know before. Aha, alhamdulillah, khalas, go sleep. Make sense, that homework? Right? You will find that 365 new things every year. That's not a very little amount of knowledge. Knowledge does not come only from classes like this. Knowledge comes like that, using your time properly. He said also, being always in contact with Sheikh. Your life has to have a part of it that you are studying with someone. For the rest of your life, by the way. It is a wrong perception, wrong conviction that I'm going to finish this class and I'm done. That's not the etiquette of a student of knowledge. Etiquette of a student of knowledge, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. Okay? This is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And that's how I mature and how I grow. So a sheikh has to have a portion in your life. Doesn't matter, is this 1 hour a month, 1 hour a week, 1 hour a day, does not matter. But you have to have a mentor, like somebody who corrects you, somebody who gives you the juice of their knowledge and experience, right? This is very, very important, like you and your child. So you are like a child in front of that sheikh, like a child in front of his dad or his mom. وَالِاشْتِغَالِ بِالْعِلْمِ. Always be busy with seeking the knowledge. How? قِرَاءَةً. You read it. وَإِقْرَاءً. You teach it to somebody. وَمُطَالَعَةً. You're reviewing. وَتَدَبُّرًا. You're reflecting on it. وَحِفْظًا. You memorize it. وَبَحْثًا. You research. So he's giving you the different ways of seeking the knowledge. It might be through reading. So you read a book once a week. You read a book every week. You read a book every month. قراءة. Just قراءة, right? قراءة. قراءة. You're just going through it. You're not thinking too much. And then reflecting means this is the reflective reading. Right? Or referencing means there is a reference, like you go, okay, I have a mas'ala in fiqh. Well, there is an encyclopedia here of fiqh. I'm going to go look. So you're reading, but you're reading as a reference. There is reading like you're reading the whole book. You might get something out of it. And there is a reading of reflection. What does this mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? You are reading it with more analytical mind. Right? And then there is the reading of reference. You are going there to reference. And there is teaching someone, like someone is reading and you are correcting them or explaining to them. He said, this should be done especially when you are young. Yani when you are young and at the beginning of your time and when you still have your health. فاغتنم هذه الفرصة الغالية. Grab, take this very valuable opportunity. لتنال رتب العلم العالية, so you can achieve the higher degrees in seeking the knowledge. فإنها وقت جمع القلب واجتماع الفكر. When a person is young, this is the time when they are focused more because they don't have things to be busy with, they don't have responsibilities and all of that. ولخفة الظهر والعيال, يعني your back is not loaded with children and family and all of that. This does not mean like those who did not benefit when they are young to abandon when they are old, right? That means what you cannot achieve in its totality, you don't abandon it in its totality. You know, just try to take the piece and try to instill in your children what you did not do. If your children, grandchildren, inshallah, okay? But you try to understand this concept. It's a mistake that always applied to yourself only. Well, I'm not youth anymore, that means the chance is gone. No, but you have children who are youth, right? So when you know the concept, you give it to them. If it doesn't work with them, find someone else. Have a class, give them that. Okay? So yeah, nobody's excused from that. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, he says, تفقهوا قبل أن تسودوا أو قبل أن تسودوا. Try to seek the knowledge and be knowledgeable before you are appointed in leadership position or before you become a leader. So before you have people look up to you, you have to have the knowledge. So when they look up to you, you can give them the knowledge of what to do. Now, as long as you have time, use it properly. As long as you have time, use it properly. And it is like exercising. It's hard in the beginning, makes your muscles sore and all that, but later on you get over it and you enjoy it and you benefit from it and it becomes part of your life. Knowledge, seeking knowledge is the same way. Now he's emphasizing on something very important. وإياك وتأمير التسويف على نفسك فلا تسوف لنفسك بعد الفراغ من كذا وبعد التقاعد من العمل هذا وهكذا بل البدار قبل أن يصدق عليك قول أبي الطحان القيني حنتني حانيات الدهر حتى كأني خاتل أدنو لصيدي قصير الخطو يحسب من رآني ولست مقيدا أنا بقيدي. So so he says, be careful of procrastination. You know what's procrastination? I will do this. When I retire, I'm going to go to Hajj. When I finish, I will pray every day. When I do this, I'll do that. Or tomorrow, inshallah, I'm going to review the notes. Or he said that is the biggest enemy of a student of knowledge. You have time now? It is now. Right? It's now. So don't say, tomorrow I'm going to learn something I did not learn today. Well, learn it today. That's what I told you. Before you sleep, you learn it today. Don't say sawfa. Taswif means sawfa. See the word procrastination. Do you know the origin of that word? You see? You know procrastination means what? Okay, what does delaying mean? Yeah, something that it should be done now, but you say I'll do it later. Because delaying sometimes is good, right? Like out of hikmah, you kind of keep pushing something away. You don't want to do it now. But the word taswif means sawfa in Arabic. It means sawfa af'al, I will. That's why they call it taswif. But anyways, the word procrastination, it is one of the English words that come from Latin origin. Procrastine was a guy who was like like in charge of a town or something like that. And he used to punish all his enemies or anybody like that by putting them on a bed that stretches them until they die. You know, stretching, like, you know, their legs and their hands are tied, and then you have a mechanical device that every day they stretch a little, you know, they tighten a little bit, so the body keeps stretching until they die. So that's called what? Procrastine. This guy's called procrastine. And then when people capture them, they kill them the same way. So stretching something that should not be stretched is called procrastination. Now you know. You know, sometimes my English literature major, you know, oozes out. So forgive me. All right, so وإياك وتأمير التسويف على نفسك. Don't have sawfa or procrastination as the amir over yourself, because it will take over and your life will be basically a big manifestation of procrastination. You don't meet your deadlines, you don't do things, and don't do that. He said otherwise, a poet said something that would be applicable to you. He said, حنتني حانيات الدهر. You know, the issues or the affairs of the life, it makes my back arch. You know, when a person, their back arches when they get old. He said that was because the load of challenges and problems on my shoulder. That I became like a person who is hunting, but he's hunting in that shape. A hunter, when he hunts, what does he should do? What does he do? He runs behind the game, right? He runs behind the game to catch it. And can you run behind the game with a hunchback? You get the idea, right? So you are loaded with all of this. So he said, كأني خاتل أدنو لصيد قصير الخطو. يعني I am walking like slowly. My gait or the pace of my walking is very short. You know, when a person like their gait is short, that means they are not gonna go fast. But when you run, it's big, right? You take leaps. So he said, I am going to hunt like that. So whoever sees me, يحسب من رآني, يعني anybody looks at me, ولست مقيدا أني بقيد. يعني anybody sees me, even though I'm not chained, they look at me as if I'm chained, like there is a chain on my feet and the chain of. So he said, if you procrastinate, you will get old and you become like that. That you wanted to learn now, but the knowledge is like that game you are running behind while you are arched and you are chained. You get the idea, right? He said, if you keep procrastinating, you'll end up like this guy. It's amazing, isn't it? You'll end up like this guy. قصير الخطو يحسب من رآني ولست مقيدا أني بقيدي. Now there is another poetry. I'll try my best to translate it to you, but it sounds so nice. مع الثمانين عاث الضعف في جسدي وساءني ضعف رجلي واضطراب يدي. إذا كتبت فخطي خط مضطرب كخط مرتعش الكفين مرتعدي. فأعجب لضعف يدي عن حملها قلما من بعد حطم القنا في لبة الأسد. فقل لمن يتمنى طول مدته هذه عواقب طول العمر والمدد. He said, when I became 80, the weakness started ravaging my body. عاث فسادا, يعني a person enters and there is nobody to stop them, so they kind of vandalize everything. So he said, when I became 80, weakness vandalized my body. عاث الضعف في جسدي وساءني, and I felt so bad. ضعف رجلي, my legs are weak, cannot carry me. واضطراب يدي, and my hands are shaking. إذا كتبت, when I start writing, فخطي خط مضطرب, يعني my handwriting becomes like shaky. كخط مرتعش الكفين مرتعدي, يعني anybody with the shaking hand, what do you expect, huh? فعجب لضعف يدي عن حملها قدما. You should wonder how my hand is so weak it cannot carry the pen. من بعد حطم القنا في لبة الأسد, after I used to hold a spear and fight a lion with it. You know, I used to put a spear in the lion's throat. فقل لمن يتمنى طول مدته. So the lesson, the moral here is, tell to whoever is wishing for a long time to achieve, هذه عواقب طول العمر والمدد. This is the result of, hoping for long life and thinking. You live the long life, but when you are able to do something, you are not able to do something. When you want to do something, you are not able to do it. والله عز وجل قال في كتابه, ربنا سبحانه وتعالى, Allah says in the book, الله الذي خلقكم من ضعف. Allah created you and you were weak. ثم جعل من بعد ضعف قوة. After this weakness, He give you power. يعني we are evil. ثم جعل من بعد قوة ضعفا وشيبة. Then you decline again, and then you have white hair and all of that. يخلق ما يشاء. Allah created whatever He wants. والعليم القدير. He's all knowledgeable. He's all able. So a person, when they are young, they think they will never be tired because they are so consumed with the youth, and they will not be bored in this. But when they become old, they will do like Zakaria alayhi salam said, قال ربي إني وهن العظم مني واشتعل الرأس شيبا. Ya Allah, my bones became weak and my hair is like a fire came in it that burned it. اشتعل is like when the fire crackles with the wood. That's اشتعل. يعني when the fire catches, that's called اشتعل. So he said اشتعل الرأس, يعني as if there is a fire that turned the black to gray. Shayba. Shayb is like burned, like, as if fire went through. And that's a depiction of like, I was not aware until I see it. I saw it. You're not aware. You're thinking it's going to be all right until you find all your hair white. And then you have to do hinna like me and stuff like that. So, نعم. 36, it's good now. إجمام النفس. إجمام النفس. How do you translate the word إجمام? 36, what is the translation of it?
Relaxing the body.
Well, إجمام is more than relaxing. Relaxing is one aspect of al-ijmam, but al-ijmam is also to take the attention away from the seeking of knowledge for some time, so you become back eager, like taking some time for yourself. It's not only relaxing, because sometimes ijmam al-nafs is through some physical activity, so it's not a relaxing. So the word relaxing here gives part of the ijmam. Ijmam al-nafs means like if I am studying now, I can go hiking. Hiking here is not relaxing. It's more relaxing the brain, right? So the word relaxing here, I don't want you to take it in a physical sense. Ijmam al-nafs means make your soul happy and active, because you don't want to be depressed because of seeking knowledge, right? When you do some act all the time, it becomes depressing, even though it is good, right? So you have to, that's why Rasulullah said an hour and an hour, sa'atan wa sa'a, yani 1 hour you're studying, 1 hour for your life and your children. So ijmam al-nafs, you might be playing with your family, taking your children somewhere, or walking, seeing nature, or going swimming. It's not necessarily physical relaxation. It is mental and spiritual soul relaxation as well, through some activities that you like. You understand what ijmam means? Istajim, يقول لك راح استجم. I'm going for istijmam. يعني I want to have some time for myself, to recharge. Okay, so it's not relaxing per se. When we do a vacation, actually we fill our itinerary with activities. We just don't go sleep in bed. We can do that at home. But here you figured out that relaxing is not physical relaxation, it is more of mindset. Because if you're going for physical relaxation, sleep home. Okay, but you want to relax by sitting on the beach, by walking on the sand, by doing some activity. Sometimes vigorous activity takes your mind off, so you can come back. خذ من وقتك سويعات تجم بها نفسك في رياض العلم من كتب المحاضرات الثقافة العامة فإن القلوب يروح عنها ساعة فساعة. يعني the Sheikh even give us another activity which is also seeking knowledge, but not that. So he said, take your head and your eyes off of the academic books and read some books which is general. Now you understand what I meant by relaxing is not relaxing actually. So the word ijmam al-nafs in Arabic It's way bigger than relaxing. Means you're taking your mind off from the professional academic study for a time, so your mind resets. Because if you're sitting in a lecture for 3 hours, you get bored, right? So that's why they give break in the middle. You go drink some tea, you go to the bathroom, refresh, and come back. That is ijmam. That is called ijmam, means you take off, and that's why they say to the children, every 15 minutes you change something in the class, because they're focused. Also the adults, you have to ask a question, do something, up, down, this and that, so some break. ومن المأثور عن أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب رضي الله عنه أنه قال أجموا هذه القلوب وابتغوا لها طرائف الحكمة فإنها تمل كما تمل الأبدان. He says, take care of your heart by doing this ijmam, and it means breaking the routine from time to time, and always get the nice readings, hikmah. You read the poetry, you read some stories, you read something fun, right? So it's kind of like, he said, because these hearts, they get bored like bodies get bored. The hearts get tired like the bodies get tired. If you do exercise, you want a break. So if you want to study, you want a break. Okay? Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he said, we have a hikmah not to do tatawwa, like, acts of, volunteer acts of worship at all times. يعني الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said, فليصلي أحدكم نشاطه فإذا فتر فليقعد. يعني one of you pray while you are active. When you find that your body is not taking, sleep or rest. Why? What is the hikmah? Sheikh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah told us what is the hikmah and the wisdom behind that. Also, there is a hikmah in the same before I say the hikmah. Sometimes we don't pray zawal time after asr. You know those times, right? You don't pray nafil, يعني general nafil. He says, بل في النهي عنه بعض الأوقات مصالح أخرى. He said there is some good benefit of not doing these volunteer acts all the time. What is that? إجمام النفوس بعض الأوقات, giving yourself some time to relax or to change your mindset. Because the ibadah is heavy. Ibadah is heavy, من ثقل العبادة. كما يجم بالنوم وغيره. Like you, from your physical need, you sleep at night. Right? This is إجمام with the sleeping. ولهذا قال معاذ إني لا أحتسب نومتي كما أحتسب قومتي. That's why Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he said, I seek reward from Allah while I'm asleep like I seek reward from Allah while I'm awake. Why? Because I'm sleeping for the sake of going back fresh. So when you take off, the hikmah here is you are rewarded when you take off like you are rewarded when you are studying. Why? Because you take off to study better. So you see the niyyah here? So he said the hikmah is azim, and it's a big hikmah. It's very nice, and this is rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jalla. When you understand it like that, so you take break from a lecture, you can't wait to go back. But some people take break and they want it to become longer because their focus is on the break, not on the lecture, not on the seeking of knowledge. The student of knowledge looks different. When you start looking different, actually you become energetic when you study. You become energetic when you give lecture. But then you have to take a break, change the mood, do some activity, something like that, so you can continue, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. I hope you understood this aspect. It's easy and it's very nice. Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, إِنَّ لَرَبِّكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقٍّ. There is a right of Allah upon you. وَلِنَفْسِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقٍّ. And there is a haqq upon yourself, for yourself, to rest and to take your mind off and to relax. This is a haqq upon you. وَلِأَهْلِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقٍّ. For your family there is a haqq upon you. وَلِزَوْرِكَ عَلَيْكَ حَقٍّ. يعني the people who visit you, الزائر يعني. فَأَعْطِ كُلَّ ذِي حَقٍّ حَقَّهُ. Give everyone their right. So this is a very good standard also. And that's why the Sheikh said, that's why we have weekends and holidays, right? To break the routine so you can go back again. That's why I'm saying people focus on the holiday and the weekend and they don't focus on the work. That's why it works the other way around. So they enjoy while they're on a holiday, but they go back to work grumpy. If it is not for the paycheck, they would not go back to work. Am I right? Yeah. But if you love what you do, you know that you are taking a break so you can do what you love to do better. That's why I had the surgery and I was sick. The doctor told me stay 2 weeks at the house. I could not stay 3 days. I wanted to go. Why? Because I know I'm not active. I'm not benefiting myself or anybody else. But this is needed, so I can go perform my job better. So that's the difference, you know. So that's why you used to say work. Oh, there is a holiday coming after 20 days. So my focus is what? Holiday, because I don't like what I'm doing now. I want to get off of it by any means. And then you hear people say, you know what? I have all these sick days I did not do. I'm saving them so I can do whatever. So all the approach is, I don't like work, but I'm working anyways. Okay? So when a vacation comes, people sleeping. In the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, sleeping. Right? But if this weekend or holiday is for you to go do your work better, do what you love better than what you do, then you will enjoy this by doing activities that will make you recharged and go back. That's why you find people in the weekend, they are doing the house chores and doing everything. Okay, so that's good. And people wake up in the morning, you know, I can pray Fajr in the masjid at the work days, but I can pray it in the weekend, so I should go pray Fajr. So they will not say, oh, I'm at the weekend, so I can wake up late. See, you change everything according to your perception. So it's very, very important to see the holidays and the weekends and the times of rest and vacation as a blessing to go back to work more active. It's not needed for its own sake. It's needed for you to change your mood, spend time with your family, do things that you need to fulfill yourself with so you can go back and do a better job. Make sense? And he says, the Sheikh said that this was an old concept, not a new concept of humanity, to take a break from whatever you're doing regularly. And he said we find it in the books of etiquettes of teaching and in the biographies of people, and he mentioned few book titles for that. How much time we have before Q&A? 10 more minutes? Okay, we'll take a couple more inshallah. Number 37, قراءة التصحيح والضبط. احرص على قراءة التصحيح والضبط على شيخ متقن لتأمن من التحريف والتصحيف والغلط والوهم. He says, now Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen here says this sentence is one of the most important sentences in the whole book. Number 37. It's one of the most important etiquettes in the whole book. He says, be eager to read the texts to correct it. Because sometimes you can read a word and misunderstand it. You read it wrong, you misunderstand it wrong, it changes the whole context. Okay? And then you are wrong. So that's why you need to read the text with a sheikh, a text that you want to memorize or study. And Quran is the biggest example, right? So you want to memorize a page, you don't just go ahead and read it, even if you know Arabic, because maybe you recite it wrong and you memorize it wrong, it becomes very hard to eradicate from your head and correct it. Same thing with mutun. I told you what mutun mean, right? Mutun means the texts in fiqh and hadith and all of that. This concise prose like or poetry like, fundamentals of that knowledge. Then you have to read it with a sheikh. If you are going to memorize it or ask him to explain it, you have to read it to correct fatha and kasra and dhamma and how this word pronounced and all that. That's called the reading of tasheeh wa dabt. I want to master it, I want to correct the pronunciation of it. Like I'm reading the matn now. If there is no fatha kasra dhamma, I'll still read it correct, even if the word can be pronounced a certain way. Not because I'm smart, no, because I read it on a sheikh. I read this matn on a sheikh. Like a sheikh heard me reading it. So he said, no, this word is this word is that. So, أنا ضبطته. يعني I, mastered it. Because the sheikh told me that's how it is read. Sometimes you can read in the biography of someone and you pronounce it wrong, so it gives you a different meaning. Like he's from that town, but it was not talking about the town, it was talking about something else. And I give you the example one time when a person read the word zakah with the dal as zakah with the zay. Zakah is the charity, the zakah, the due, the third pillar of Islam. But he read it zakah, means slaughtering. So that's tasheef. Yani tasheef in reading means replacing a letter by another letter. Changed the whole context for him, and all his talk was about slaughtering, about zakah, while it is about slaughtering. You know, there was a movie, Egyptian movie, that a woman going to the courthouse because of her, not courthouse, to the prosecutor's office, because her son was captured stealing. All right, she wants to get him out, so she gave the papers to a lawyer standing by there because she doesn't have money to afford. Right, she told him, "Please, ya Ibni, help me out. My son is innocent," and this, and he saw the file, and he said, you know, calf, cow, small cow, يعني, is عجل, عجلة, عين جيم لام تا, عجل, in Arabic, huh? عجلة. He said, oh, he stole عجلة. Then he goes inside and he defend him based on that. He didn't see him or anything like that. He just found a loophole, and he says, at the time when my client, you accused him stealing, that ijla is broke from the rope, and my client was trying to bring it back to the owner, so people captured him and think that he was stealing the ijla, right? And the prosecutor is listening to him, and the guy was standing there, and he telling him, the ustaz, I did not steal a ijla, I stole a ajala. It was a bicycle. It is not a calf. So he looked like an idiot. But you understand what I'm trying to say here, right? Huh? Tashkil, ijla and ajala. Ajala in Egyptian means a bicycle. So he tried to help him, and actually he incriminated him instead. But the story is clear, right? So if you don't read the text on the Sheikh, you will end up doing lots of this ijla ajala thing. And the zakah stuff. So it's very important. That's why Quran is the highest text. It's not acceptable, even from a PhD in linguistics, to go on his own or her own and memorize the Quran and say, I'm a hafiz. You have to read it in front of a sheikh who is certified to certify you. You can read whatever you want, but to be certified that you're reading Quran correctly, someone who read Quran correctly has to say that you read Quran correctly. And that's how Quran is preserved, you know. Yeah. وإذا استقرأت تراجم العلماء وخاصة الحفاظ منهم تجد عددا غير قليل ممن جرد المطولات في مجالس أو أيام قراءة ضبط على شيخ. So he said, if you read in the biographies of the big shuyukh or the ulama, especially those who are hafiz. Hafiz means they memorize all the hadith, sunnah, Quran, things like that. Hafiz. You will see that one of the main etiquettes that they do is go recite a book just to correct the pronunciation. They are not looking for anything else. They are looking for, okay, Sheikh, am I reading these words correctly or not? So they will read the whole Bukhari, whole Muslim, whole Nasa'i, Tirmidhi, like that, quickly, and the Sheikh will say, nope, this word tashkil is fatha, not dhamma, like that. You know what I mean? Before I memorize a poem about Quran or Qura'at or something, I have to read the poem first in front of a Sheikh and put my tashkil on it. So then I know exactly. Even if it has tashkil, I have to read it with the Sheikh. Sometimes the Sheikh memorized it from his Sheikh and all that, and there is a typo in the... So the print actually is wrong. You understand? Even, don't say, oh, it has tashkil on it. Maybe the tashkil is wrong. Yeah? So that's why some students of the PhD programs in Al-Azhar and Medina and all of that, they go to certain Sheikhs and they have a book and they correct the book from the Sheikh's memorization. So sometimes don't be deceived. That's why when you're making research, you go to manuscript. You go to the original manuscript written by that person. You don't look to the printed book. Like, I'd look to the manuscript of what Sheikh Bakr Abdul Zid written, not to his printed book. You understand? So that's when you become advanced in seeking the knowledge. So he said that some of them, they read big books and big explanations in few days just to make sure that they are reading it right. فهذا الحافظ ابن حجر العسقلاني, the one who explained Sahih al-Bukhari in 14 volumes. He said قرأ صحيح البخاري في 10 مجالس, كل مجلس 10 ساعات. He said he read it in 10 sessions, each session 10 hours. And he would say 10 hours reading Sahih al-Bukhari for 10 sessions. So that's 100 hours to finish Sahih al-Bukhari. وصحيح مسلم في 4 مجالس في نحو يومين وشيء. 2 something days he read Sahih Muslim. من بكرة النهار إلى الظهر. يعني from the Fajr until Dhuhr. 2.5 days. وانتهى ذلك في يوم عرفة, in the day of عرفة. وكان يوم الجمعة, it was the Jum'ah, 1813. So it is written in his biography. So he was in Hajj and he found one of the scholars, Bukhari and Muslim. So he read the 2 books on them. That's what they used to do, right? They find the scholar, he was going doing Hajj and all that. وقرأ سنن ابن ماجه, he read سنن ابن ماجه في 4 مجالس in 4 sessions. ومعجم الطبراني الصغير في مجلس واحد بين صلاتي الظهر والعصر, between ظهر and عصر. وشيخه, the Sheikh of Imam ابن حجر الفيروزابادي, قرأ في دمشق in Damascus صحيح مسلم على شيخه ابن جهبل قراءة ضبط في 3 أيام. Just to master the tashkil and all of that of the word in 3 days. Yani, those are there. These are there. What does that tell you here? That it tells you how eager the students, before they memorize something or they study something, they read it dabt to know exactly that they are reading it right. Yani, I memorized a long poem in Qira'at with a Sheikh, and then I went to another Sheikh and he gave me certain things different. Then when I went to a third Sheikh, he said both of them are correct, right? It can be read like this or read like that. So now by me reading it on a Sheikh, I know that there are variations as well. You understand? There are variations as well. Now, number 38, جرد المطولات. And now, it's not only reading a concise text for a beginner. He said when you become advanced, you have to read the long explanation. مطول means something made طويل. You're making something طويل. طويل means what? Long. مطول means something was stretched, protracted. Means the explanation of a book. Right? مطولات. الجرد للمطولات من أهم المهمات. It's very important. Why? لتعدد المعارف, because it has different branches of knowledge in it. يعني when you read the matan, it's fiqh only. Right? Fiqh only. Let's say matan in fiqh. That matan has fiqh only. But al-mutawwala, the explanation of that matan, it quotes a hadith and Quran and statement and different madhab and different opinion like that. So now when you are studying this as well, what you get? Variety of knowledge. And you become smarter and you become analytical and you become critical mind. And you get all these pearls out of it and benefits. And then you know where to find reference. When you read more of this, somebody asked a question, said, go check that book, that section. But if you don't know if you don't read mutawalat, you will not know where to find what. Yeah. And you know also the style of each one explaining. And many books many scholars explain the same matan. Like one matan in tajweed, you have 10 scholars explain it. When you review all 10, you will find the best one among them. Okay? Or you can develop your own, mixing all of them together. Something like that. And he says that they used to say balagh, the word balagh, bala, ghain, to mark where they stopped. Yani I reached here. So whenever they come back, because it is a long manuscript, right? So they don't want to go back and forth and all that. Right, because maybe they will come after 1 year to continue. Maybe you come after 1 month, then you forget which page, right? So you go from that mark that they used to do to the different color or with different handwriting. So they come and do. So actually marking where you stopped is very important. Marking where you stopped in anything is very important. So reading Quran, mark where you stopped. Reading Hadith, mark where you stopped. Open a book, mark where you stopped. And now we have the stickers and things like that, so it's all right. And always have take your notes. Some books that has spaces to take the notes or the margin, or have a notebook to take the notes, or on your computer, just take notes. Whatever idea comes in your head or a question, write it down, because you will forget for sure, right? So don't lose. This here, it is not for the beginner seeker of knowledge. Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen said the author should have made some specification. So this is not for any student of knowledge. Student of knowledge, focus on the mutun, focus on how you read it correctly, focus on simple explanations, right? But if you tell somebody, go to this big explanation, you actually can destroy them, can confuse them. So Jard al-Mutawalat, for a student who read mutun, who's already those steps, you tell him, okay, go review the book of madhahib, different madhab and comparative fiqh. But you don't say that to a beginner, all right? So this 38 is for advanced student of knowledge. The 37 is for beginner student of knowledge. You understand where Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, what Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen is saying? He's saying establish the differentiation between the correcting that and reading the explanations. It does not mean Ibn Hajar was a beginner. No, you can still do this when you are advanced. When you are advanced, you still want to correct your pronunciation, that's okay. But we are talking, it is more befitting to the beginner, and the 38 is more befitting to the advanced, and it is wrong for the beginner to do. Number 38. Now. '39 حسن السؤال. That's actually a very important one. التزم أدب المباحثة من حسن السؤال. You have to ask a question properly. When to ask, how to ask, where to ask, whom to ask. This is حسن السؤال. So whenever you are researching with someone or discussing with someone, when you're asking a question, you're asking properly. فالاستماع فصحة الفهم للجواب. When you ask a question, then you have to listen attentively. Then you understand the answer properly. And he says, be careful, be aware that when the answer comes at you, to say, but Sheikh such and such said such and such. He said, this is weakness in your adab. Wahan means weakness. That is qillat adab يعني. This is qalil. Adab here is weak. وضرب لأهل العلم ببعضهم بعضا. You are smashing the heads of people of knowledge together. فاحذر هذا, be careful of that. As a student of knowledge, don't challenge the sheikh by another sheikh. Right? Especially in the majlis. Right? So how you do that? If you are like two opinions, said, but what, ya sheikh, if there, as you know, there is another opinion saying such and such and such. But don't say sheikh such and such told. You understand? Sometimes you don't even say that. But if you have to say it, it shouldn't be in the public, and it should be with politeness. No. So don't name people. Don't say Sheikh such and such said this. I asked that Sheikh, his specialty is finances, and now you are telling me this. Okay, why are you asking me? So it's very important to do that. Also, when you say to the Sheikh, I don't understand, you tell him also nicely. Don't tell him, repeat this again. Sheikh, hold on, repeat again. Don't do that. This is not adab. Yeah, sometimes I was giving the lectures. I said, hold. Wait a minute. I need to write this down. I cannot wait for you to write it down and delay the class. That's not adab. Right? If you are not fast enough, take it from someone who is. Okay? But let the flow come. The Sheikh is teaching, let him flow. Don't interrupt. And when you don't understand, Sheikh, you say, yeah, Sheikh, I find it difficult to understand that portion. Would you please help me understand? See the adab? I don't get it. It's not good. Repeat again. It's not good. Okay? And when you ask a question, you ask it politely, listen. Sometimes someone asks the Sheikh and then they start talking to the person beside them while the Sheikh is giving the answer. So why you ask the question if you're not listening? Okay? Or ask the question, Sheikh, I have to leave now, you can answer, I will listen to the video later. That's not right. That's not good. That means the question is not important for you, don't ask it. You are taking from the time of a people, you are disrespecting the Sheikh. I'm just giving you some manifestations, right? Now, when the question comes, listen attentively. And the third one, make sure you understood it correctly. Even if you tell the Sheikh, what I understand is this. Am I right? Yes. So make sure you understand it correctly, even if you ask another question. We'll stop here, inshallah. And this last one still has few things to do, and we have we have about 3 more etiquettes or 4 to finish this important section. And then we'll get to number 6 inshallah rabbil alamin. Jazakumullah khair. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
Should I do?
Yes.
It's about the etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tend to do in our classes together that sometimes when you are talking and I try not to interrupt, but I give you an ishara to kind of repeat by doing this hand gesture. I've done it before.
See, this is very important. If you have a long-term study relationship with someone and you did something and they did not object to it or anything like that, that's fine. You understand? Like I might say sometimes, you can interrupt me at any time, ask a question. So that's my etiquette, but many other sheikhs will not accept it. I might not accept it at certain times. I'll say this open discussion or ask a question, or this is a one-way lecture. That should be respected from the... But if you say like this to the sheikh and the sheikh is okay, that's fine. I would accept it from a long-term student. I would not accept it from a one-day student to do these things, right? So sometimes it is not like clear black and white thing. Sometimes that's what this book is teaching us. Like when you are with the sheikh, you got to get used to the likes and dislikes, all right, of the sheikh. So if sometimes, said no questions, don't say, but I have a very important questions. Don't do that, right? Somebody said, ask a question, that's it. And when they give you an answer, listen attentively to it. And you develop this by time. That's why nasiha is to stick with someone for a long enough time that you get used to them, they get used to you, and you kind of don't have that barrier like you would do with a sheikh that you only attend for a certain course or something like that. And the sheikh feels more comfortable with a long-term student more than someone who's just passing by. Okay, so that's all right. It's okay. If it offends, believe me, the sheikh will tell you. Especially if you have a long-term relationship, so don't do that. Just tell me to repeat, but don't do that. Yes.
I have 2 questions. One is from a friend of mine who wanted to ask a question. Should a Muslim believe in reincarnation or resurrection?
There's a difference between reincarnation and resurrection. Reincarnation is like your soul is going to come back to someone else or something else. That's not our belief. It will never happen. Your soul is your soul. My soul is Mamdouh's soul since Allah created Adam alayhi salam. My name is Onet. And it came to me while I'm in the womb of my mother. So I existed from Adam's time, as Rasulullah ﷺ said, وَإِذْ أَخَذَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَى أَنفُسِهِمْ. يعني Allah wiped on the back of Adam, so all his offspring till Yawm al-Qiyamah came in front of him, in like little insects or ants, shine. And then there's long hadith, who's this, is Dawood, how long he lives, there is hadith for that. So my soul is Mamdouh's soul since Allah created Adam. And that soul was in the soul world, does not have any physical format until Allah sent it to the womb of my mother after 120 days of conception. Okay? So I existed in the womb of my mother with that ruh for 6 months, for 5 months after that, so 9. Then I come to the world in a human format and I keep growing. Then when the ruh is out of this body, it is the same ruh that was created. It is the same ruh in the womb. It is the same ruh which is in this physical body, but now it is not in any physical shape. When Yawm al-Qiyamah comes, that same ruh will go to another body that Allah created. If it goes to Jannah or Hellfire, then there is a format also for Jannah or Hellfire. But it does not go to anybody else. Because the reincarnation means your soul will come in a different format. And that's not an Islamic way. But resurrection means all of us will be resurrected after Yawm al-Qiyamah, when Yawm al-Qiyamah comes. Yeah. See the difference. What's the second question?
You know how you had mentioned earlier that when you fear something, like if you see a jinn, you're going to get to see a jinn because we constantly...
Negative, yeah.
Right. So how do we avoid that? Like, what do we say? What do we do? Pray something? Because as a human being, you do have, like, when you have little kids, like, I am afraid to send my kids to a pool area because I'm thinking they're going to slip and they're going to bust their head. And this is my fear. So now when you have certain fear, it comes out, so how do you avoid that?
Now we avoid that by depending on Allah Azza wa Jal, by having it in your head as a possibility. Possibility makes you take your precautions. But you don't just, okay, now you going to the pool, you have your kids have their life jacket. Make sure that they stay away from the corner where they can bust their head. Khalas, you depend on Allah Azza wa Jal, you did your best. Now if they bust their head, may Allah forbid. But you did what. But if you keep doing that while everything is all right, then most likely it's going to take place. I'm talking about yourself, not others. Others in the hand of Allah, whatever you do. But I'm talking about yourself. What you are afraid of, you're going to attract. If you're afraid of poverty, they end up poor. People are afraid of poverty, afraid of failure, they end up failing. Because they are not doing it with the spirit that I will succeed. Most of the time they will succeed, inshallah. And if they fail, they say, you know what? I always succeed. So this time, But you take your precautions and always tawakkul ala Allah Azza wa Jal and do whatever needs to be done. With dua wal istighfar. Now, never, don't abandon things and then blame. No, you do the right things. I'm doing a business, but I'm afraid of failure. Yeah, failure is a possibility. It's not like what that fear would do to you. It will deter you from working hard because you're working hard on a hope that the business will increase. But now when you say, I'm going to fail, you'll end up failing because you're not going to see the right things to do. And that's what it is. Yes?
I have a question regarding our class last Saturday. I've seen for the deceased, after the janazah and the men pick up the deceased, sometimes they don't hold the coffin properly. They're shorter people on one side, so it's leaning.
Mm-hmm.
So is it Qalilun Adab if the relative of the deceased requests that not everyone, and the other thing is they rush and there's a scramble and there's shoving a little bit, and so is it wrong for someone to request that we have designated people to carry the deceased and that don't shove and push? And
it's okay, but again, you don't want to prevent people from doing the sunnah, doing the sunnah of carrying, and they want the reward and all of that. But the family of the deceased, they can say, please, walk slowly or make a line behind, right, to exchange with people. That's why I was trying to always say, if we follow the sunnah, actually we avoid lots of mistakes, right? So if it's carried by 4 people, and those 4 people, they alternate. You know what I mean? They alternate. Like, the person on the back left moves out, and another person comes in, right? Then this person here moves to the second one, and that person gets out, right? And they keep moving like that, and always the people who come, they should come from that direction. You know what I'm saying here?
yeah,
So you can say, please, if you want to help carry, go to the left back. There will not be shoving and pushing.
But can you, let's say you have enough relatives, for example, who want to do that act.
Yeah, you can say relatives will carry, will take care of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no problem. It's all this mustahab and sunan. It's not like a must that everyone has to do it. Otherwise, people offended or something. We said, no, brothers and sisters, we want to give a chance to the family to do it. So please, that's okay. Inshallah. Yeah.
If a person doesn't know the beginning of Arabic that well, take tajweed classes.
Yeah. Yeah, tajweed classes and learning the Quranic text sometimes does not require a person to know Arabic. Because, you can learn the alphabet of a